Okay, today we're talking about dividing rational numbers. And there's a couple of vocab things I need you to know before we start working on problems. So number one is a big fancy word called multiplicative inverse. And all that means to do is flip the fraction. It's kind of a big fancy word for flip the fraction. Multiplicative inverse. Number two is going to be our most important rules of the day. And we're going to use this a lot. So we got to remember this part. It's super important. And it's called, it almost looks like KFC, but it's not KFC. It's KCF. And what does it stand for, Cameron? Do you know? You got excited like you recognized it.
Well, I know. Change.
What, Bella?
Fraction.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
I was gonna say flip. Oh, I know.
Keep, change, flip.
I know KCF.
Didn't get all the notes. Go back a little bit in the video and copy all those down in your math journal because that's going to be super important. So we're going to do some examples now of multiplicative inverse. And what does that mean again? Multiplicative inverse means flip the fraction. Good. So all we're going to do is flip the fraction. Whatever was on the bottom goes to the top, and whatever's on the top goes to the bottom. And that's it. But number 6, you're like, wait a minute, that's not a fraction. How do I flip it? Well, remember, what is sitting under every whole number?
1.
An imaginary 1. So I'm going to draw that 1, and now I can flip it. And don't forget the negative on that one, because it's negative. Okay? All right, and then for the last one, I cannot just flip the fraction part. I have to flip everything. So I first have to change this to an improper fraction. So remember, we multiply the bottom number by the big number. What's 4 times 2?
8.
8, and then I add in the top. 8 plus 3
is
11, and keep the bottom number, what?
Negative.
The same, and keep the whole thing negative. Good. So now my mixed number is negative 11 over 4, but I still haven't flipped it. So now I'm going to flip it, and then just add that negative in, and that will be my final answer. Copy those down. So for this next section, we are going to start learning about keep, change, flip. So keep, change, flip is only something we do when we are dividing fractions. It only happens for dividing fractions, okay? That's really important to remember. So keep, change, flip means keep the first fraction the same. So write the first fraction down underneath and keep it exactly the same. 2/3 stays 2/3. The change is for the sign. We're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. And I'm going to use a dot for my multiplication sign. That's okay. And then the last letter F is for flip the second fraction. So I'm going to flip the second fraction. Keep, change, flip. Okay? And now I can solve, because guess what? When we solve a multiplication problem with fractions, we just multiply the top numbers together and multiply the bottom numbers together. So what is 2 times 4? Anybody?
2 times 4 would be 8.
8, good. And then 3 times 3? 9, that's right, good job. And that becomes my final answer. So we did keep, change, flip.
Sorry to make it so I was writing something real quick.
That's okay. So the next problem, number 9, has a little extra step in it. Because remember, every time we see one of those mixed numbers, we have to change it to an improper fraction first. So let's do that. I multiply the bottom number by the big number. 6 times 5 is, anybody know?
6 times 5.
30, good. So 6 times 5 is 30, and then plus 5, 30 plus 5, Cameron? Yeah, good. So I'm going to bring the bottom number stays the same, and don't forget the negative. Cameron, are you with me?
Sorry, I got distracted again.
Okay, I'm going to leave the division sign for now because we are not doing keep, change, flip yet. First, we have to make both fractions into an improper fraction. So on this one, I'm going to do 3 times 4. What's 3 times 4?
3 times 4 is
12. Good. Plus 2. What's 12 plus 2?
12 plus 2.
14. Keep the bottom number the same. There's a 3 on the bottom. I'm going to leave 3 on the bottom. Okay? Copy that down. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to go to keep, change, flip. Keep what?
We keep the 3, the negative 3/5, 6.
Good. Keep the first fraction the same. Nice job, Bella. Cameron, are you with me? Come on, copy it down. And then I change what? The sign. Good. Change that division sign to multiplication. And then what do I flip?
3 over 14.
So flip the second fraction, it becomes 3 over 14. Now, I'm going to multiply, because I changed my sign to multiply. And I think we might need a calculator for this one, ladies. 35 times 3.
35 times 3.
Yep. I'm going
to try to do it in my head.
Okay.
This thing.
Get your calculator if you don't have it, Tiffany. Bella figured that out in her head. That was really awesome math. 35 times 3 is 105. And then she also remembered, don't forget the negative sign. So we added the negative there. 105. And then 6 times 14, I'm just going to do on my calculator, is 84. And then that is it. You can leave it just like that, 105 over 84, or if you're good at reducing fractions, you could try to reduce it. But because 105 has a 5, it doesn't reduce any lower with 84. So we're just going to leave it like that. Okay, last one. Now the only thing I have to do on this one is I have to draw my imaginary 1 under the negative 8 so that I can flip it when I get to that step. Okay? So draw your imaginary 1 under the negative 8. And then I'm going to keep what?
Negative 4/5.
Good. Keep negative 4/5. Change what?
The decimal.
Change the sign to multiplication, and then flip what?
The 1 over 8.
Negative 1 over 8. So now I'm just going to multiply the top numbers together and multiply the bottom numbers together. What is negative 4 times negative 1?
12 and 4. 5.
Ooh, good. Remembering that is positive 4. And 5 times 8?
5 times 8 is 45.
Just 40. Good. And we can leave it just like that, or you can reduce it. It would reduce to 1 over 10. Both of those would be acceptable answers. All right. Copy all those down. And that is all we have for today. So make sure you watch this video again if you're confused, because the steps are a little tricky and specific, but the more you watch it and practice, the better you'll get at it. Let me know if you have any questions.